All right, I think it's safe to assume that a lot of us are quite dependent on our smartphones, and most of us also use mobile apps every day. I know I do. A research firm Gartner estimates that 103 billion mobile apps will be downloaded this year. That's 60% more than last year. And here in Singapore, our interactive digital media industry has grown 28.3% since 2008, with app developers taking up an ever-growing piece of the pie.
Everything on the farm transformed into mindless, maniacal zombies.
So, for example, they give you the tools to let off steam by blasting zombies. That's the game Lambo vs. Zombies. It's got over 1 million users. Or perhaps you need something else a bit more practical, like helping you to keep track of your bills or how much your friends owe you. That's another app that we're going to look at. So those are two of just some of the many ones which local developers have given us in recent years. So to tell us more about what we can expect, Eldrick Chang, Managing Director of Swagsoft, and Darius Cheong, co-founder of Billpin. So hi guys, thanks for coming today. So you guys seem to know what we want, or you think you know that's what we want when you come up with those apps. So how big of a gamble would you say is the app industry?
Well, the app industry as a whole is certainly not a gamble. Everybody needs apps. Only more apps is going to come, and more people are going to use them. The real question is, how do we find something that people need? From our perspective, from our own perspective, it's very simple. We just make something that we need and hope other people need it too.
Okay, so both of you have very successful apps. Would you say that the typical Singaporean user has their quirks? There's certain apps that we really like and certain apps that we just don't at all?
Well, I think that the Singaporeans on a whole are actually quite selective about what they want to, what they want to play, and they make the decision very fast within the first maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Or even, the furthest, I think, 3 minutes, they can't really decide what they want. So you really have to capture their attention within this time span. If not, you have lost a customer, a potential customer.
So Darius, let's talk about Billpin, something that helps you keep track of how much you owe people and how much people owe you. How did that come about?
Well, yeah, I love hanging out with my friends from secondary school and so on. Go out for dinner and drinks is perfect, but it's always a pain trying to figure out who should pay for what. And especially I rent with other people in the same household, so rent, groceries, utilities, it's just a mess to sort out. So we've kind of figured out we need that. So
how many users do you have right now?
We don't really discuss that, but we've been growing quite steadily for the last 1 year.
Okay, so Eldrick, the game we saw earlier, Lambo vs. Zombies, about 1 million users, is that correct?
Well, over that probably worldwide, collectively from all over the world. Yeah.
And in Singapore, do we know how many people use it?
Well, I don't have the stats for that. Yeah, but most of them would come from bigger countries like United States and China.
So that kind of success would be the kind that most app developers would be hoping for, isn't it? I mean, for you as well.
Well, I think it depends. There are a lot of, for us, most of our users come from United States and India and other bigger countries, but there are also apps that are very important for local context, and they find the success in local context. Whether it's the property gurus who have half of their traffic coming from mobile apps, or new startups like Carousel, very successful buy and sell apps that you can just go on and shop anytime.
Well, some might say that the app market or the mobile app market is very, very saturated. There's so much competition out there. So how do you guys maintain your edge, especially when you come up with new ideas?
Well, it's actually very difficult. It's a kind of gamble, really, because every day tens of thousands of apps get submitted to the App Store, and you don't really have an idea of what the consumer is going to like. So marketing is actually key to all of this, is getting the eyeballs, getting the people to know about your app.
All right, so there's a recent study that came out that showed that the sector faces two key challenges. One is costs, of course, it's expensive, and the other is a shortage of talent. Do you find that Singapore has that talent? Are we cultivating enough young people who are interested in the industry?
Well, I think that is kind of a short way of describing the problem. The real challenge is not that we don't have talent. The real challenge is there's a large need for talent, which is a good thing. I think we have a good, healthy supply. It's just that there's a lot more money chasing up after very few talent.
All right, so one last question for you guys. What do you foresee are the trends for next year? What kind of apps are we going to see coming out? Crystal ball.
Oh, I think there's a lot of traditional practical businesses. Property sites like Property Guru have led the way, but there are a lot more businesses like that would have a large part of their business move into mobile. Okay. So that would be one guess of mine.
Aldrich?
Well, I think that there would, the freemium trend would definitely continue. It will be very strong. In fact, I would not be surprised to see that most of the apps would go into the freemium department.
Okay.
And we'll have a lot more competition. So we'd have to think about a more innovative way to solve problems for people, be it for utility apps or even for games. We have to keep thinking about what people want to play. And
so basically giving people what they want and what they need as well.
yes,
Absolutely
All
true.
right, thank you very much, guys. It was great speaking to you. Thanks for coming
thank
in.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that was Aldrich and Darius telling us more about the app development scene here in Singapore.